Hello there. Don't know about you, but I'm a bit tired today on a Monday, which is a bit weird. So I am looking forward to sharing this book with you today. And the teachers and I are working on our Friday evening fun. So watch this space because it's going to be a fun night, which we're looking forward to sharing with all of you. So we hope that you guys will get behind this special event. The one and only Ivan. So we've got this beautiful little snuggly little elephant called Ruby. So let's see what happens. George and Mag are out by the highway. I can see them through one of my windows. They are next to each other on tall wooden ladders leaning against the billboard that tells the cars to stop and visit the one and only Ivan. That's me, the mighty silverback. But George has a bucket and a long-handled broom, and Mac has pieces of paper, and he slaps the pieces against the billboard, and George dips the broom into a bucket and he wets the paper with the liquid from the bucket, and somehow it's really magical because the paper stays in place. They put up many pieces before they're done. When they climb down from the ladders, I can see that they've added a picture of a little elephant to the billboard, and the elephant has a sort of a weird smile, and she's wearing a red hat and her tail curls like a pig. She doesn't look like Ruby. Actually, she doesn't even look like an elephant. I've only known Ruby one day, but I could have drawn a better elephant than that. Do you know what? Ruby asks a lot of questions. She says, Ivan, why is your tummy so big? And have you ever seen a giraffe? And can you get me one of those pink clouds that the humans are eating? When Ruby asks, what's on your wall? I explain that it's a jungle. She says the flowers have no smell and the waterfall has no water and the trees have no roots, so it's not really a jungle, but I think it's a jungle. But then I have to say to her, I know, it's just a picture made with paint, but I like to believe it's real. Do you know how to make art? Ruby asks. Yes, I do, and I puff up my chest just a little. I've always been an artist, and I love drawing. Why do you love it? Ruby asks. I pause. I've never talked to anyone about this before. And I think, well, you know, Rubes, when I'm drawing a picture, I sort of feel like quiet inside. Ruby frowns. I think quiet is really boring. It's not always boring, Ruby. Ruby scratches the back of her neck with her trunk. Well, what do you draw anyway? Well, bananas mostly, and things in my domain. My drawings sell at the gift store for $25 with a frame. What's a frame? Ruby asks. What's $1? And I don't know what a gift store is. I close my eyes. Ruby talks a lot, and I tell her that I'm a bit sleepy. Ivan? Yes, Ruby. Have you ever driven a truck? I don't answer. Ivan, Ruby asks, can Bob fly? A memory flashes past, surprising me. I think of my father snoring peacefully under the sun while I try every trick I know to wake him up. Perhaps I realise he wasn't such a sound sleeper after all, and maybe I was just as much of a pain as Ruby's being right now. How's that foot, old girl? George asks Stella. Stella pokes her trunk through the bars and she inspects George's right shirt pocket for the treat he's bought her every night without fail. George doesn't bring me treats. Stella's his favourite, but I don't mind because she's my favourite too. Stella sees that George's pocket is empty, so she gives George a frustrated nudge with her trunk. And Julia giggles. Stella moves to George's left pocket and discovers what she's looking for, a carrot. And quickly she takes it out of his pocket. Her trunk is so clever. Mac walks past. Oi, toilet's plugged up in the men's bathroom. It's a big mess. Take care of it. Mac turns to leave. Before you go, Mac, George says, you might want to have a look at Stella's foot. I think it's infected again. Ugh, that thing never heals up right. Mac rubs his eyes. I'll keep an eye on it. Money's tight though. Can't be calling the vet every time she sneezes. George strokes Stella's trunk. She inspects his pocket one more time just in case. Sorry, girl, George says gently as he watches Mac walk away. I think that's really sad because if you're sick, I bet your mummies and daddies call the doctor. But because Mac's got no money, he doesn't think he can call the doctor. I wonder what's going to happen to my friend Stella. Ivan! Bob! I blink. The dawn sky is a smudge of grey flecked with pink like a picture made with crayons. In the shadows I can just make out Ruby waving hello with her trunk. Ivan, are you awake? Ruby asks. We are now, says Bob. Aunt Stella's still asleep and I don't want to wake her because she said her foot was hurting, but I'm really bored. Bob opens one eye. You know what I do when I'm bored? Oh, what do you do, Bob? I sleep, said Bob. Ruby, it's a little bit early. But I'm used to getting up early. Ruby wraps her trunk around one of the bars on her door. At my old circus, we always got up when it was still dark, and then we had breakfast, and then we walked in a circle, and then they chained my feet up, and actually that really hurt. Ruby falls silent. Already Bob is snoring. Ivan, Ruby says, do you know any jokes? I especially like jokes about elephants. Well, let me see. I heard Mac tell one once. Hey God, I just need to yawn. How can you tell that an elephant has been in a refrigerator? How? By the footprints in the butter. Ruby doesn't laugh. I sit up on my elbows trying not to disturb Bob. Did you get it? No. What's a refrigerator? Ruby asks. It's a human thing. A cold box with a door, and guess what? They put food inside it. They put food in the door or food in the box? And is it a big box or is it a little box? Oh boy, this was going to be a long day if Ruby was already asking all these questions. I could see it was going to take a while. So I sit up all the way and Bob slid off my tummy. He was a bit angry. I reach for my pencil, the one I snapped in two with my teeth. Here, I say, I'll draw you a picture of one. In the dim light, it takes me a minute to find the piece of paper Julia gave me. It's a little damp and has a smear of something orange on it, but I think it's from the orange I ate the other day. I try my best to make a refrigerator. The broken pencil is not cooperating, but I do what I can. And by the time I'm done, the first streaks of morning sun have appeared in flashy cartoon colours. I hold up my picture for Ruby to see. She has a really good look at it, and her head turns so that one black eye is trained on my drawing. Wow! Did you make that? It's the thing you were telling me about before. Is that what you call art, Ivan? Sure is. I can draw all kinds of things. I'm especially good at fruit. Ooh, can you draw me a banana right now? Ruby asks. Oh, of course I can. I turn the paper over and I start sketching. Wow, it looks good enough to eat, Ivan. She makes a happy little sound, like I think an elephant laugh. It's like the song of a bird I recall from a long time ago, a tiny little bird that had a voice like dancing water when I lived in the jungle. Strange how I'd forgotten all about that bird and how she'd wake me up every morning at dawn when I was still curled safely up in my mummy's nest. It's a good feeling making Ruby laugh, so I draw another picture and another along the edges of the paper. An orange, a candy bar, a carrot.
What are you two up to?
Stella asks as she tries to move her sore foot. I have to say, it looks very, very sore this morning. How are you this morning? I asked Stella.
I'm feeling my age, but I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Guess what? Ivan is making me pictures and he told me a joke. I really like Ivan, Aunt Stella. Stella winks at me.
Me too,
she says. Ivan, want to hear my favourite joke? Ruby asks. I heard it from Maggie. She was one of the giraffes in my old circus. Sure, I say. Well, it goes like this. What do elephants have that nothing else has? Trunks, I think, but I don't answer because I don't want to ruin Ruby's fun. I don't know, Ruby, I replied. What do elephants have that nothing else has? Baby elephants, Ruby says. Oh, that's a good one, Ruby, I say, watching Stella gently stroke Ruby's back with her trunk.
Good one. That's very funny, my little Ruby,
Stella says softly. Once again, I asked Stella if she had any babies. She shook her head.
No, I've never had the opportunity.
I think you would make a great mummy elephant, I told her.
Thank you, my dear Ivan. I like to think so. Having young ones is a big responsibility. You have to teach them how to make mud baths, of course, and emphasise the importance of fibre in their diet.
She looked away and she looked a little bit sad. Elephants are excellent, I've decided, at looking a bit sad.
I think the hardest part of being a parent, Stella added after a while, would be keeping your babies safe from harm and protecting them.
The way silverbacks do in the jungle, I asked.
Exactly, Stella nodded.
You would have been good at protecting too, I said confidently.
I'm not so sure, Stella said, gazing at the iron bars that were now surrounding her. I'm not sure at all. She's a lovely old thing, is our Stella. But I think she's a bit sad, don't you, that she's stuck in those cages and not able to be free. Well, my lovely people, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you for another super duper day. Watch out for the mystery sound and the mystery baby photo. It's always such a fun thing to have a look at and see what you guys think those things are. So until I see you tomorrow, sleep tight. Mwah.